We interrupt this broadcast for a special report from the Human Error News Network. We're going live tonight to investigate a silent epidemic. It's not a virus, it's a reflex, the blame game. And we're about to show you how our endless hunt for a culprit might be the very thing making all of us less safe.
So let me ask you a question. What if I told you that the hospital with the best safety record, the one reporting the fewest mistakes, is actually the most dangerous place you could be? It sounds completely backwards, doesn't it? It just doesn't make sense.
Because on the surface, a low error rate looks fantastic. We see that and we think, great, they've got their act together. This is a high-quality, safe place. But what if that perfect score isn't a sign of excellence? What if it's actually a symptom of fear? A culture where people are so afraid to report mistakes that they just bury them. That perfect record becomes a dangerous illusion, hiding the real problems right under the surface.
To understand how a place can look so safe, but be so dangerous, we have to dig a little deeper. We need to look at our own human instinct when things go sideways. So let's dissect it. Welcome to the anatomy of an error.
Every single time a mistake happens, we stand at a fork in the road. It's a simple choice, really. Path number 1 is blame. We find the person, we point the finger. Path number 2 is learning. We look at the failure itself and we try to understand it.
And here's the kicker, the part that changes everything. You cannot do both. It's impossible. The second you decide to blame someone, the opportunity to truly learn what happened just evaporates. The investigation is over before it even started.
And look, this isn't just a theory. Our team found this warning from the experts at ISMP Canada. They spell it out. A punitive culture, one where you're punished for mistakes, doesn't get rid of errors. It just gets rid of the reporting of errors. It forces them underground where they can't be fixed.
So what's the biggest side effect of all this fear? Silence. A complete and total breakdown in communication. In fact, our investigation found that poor communication is a factor in a staggering 25% of patient safety incidents. Let that sink in. 1 in every 4 incidents could potentially be avoided if people just felt safe enough to speak up.
Okay, so if pointing fingers is actually making things worse, then what are we supposed to do? Well, our investigation uncovered a completely different way of looking at the problem. And believe it or not, it all starts with Swiss cheese.
This right here is the famous Swiss cheese model. Now just imagine that every safety check, every protocol is one slice of cheese. By their very nature, every single slice has holes. No system is perfect. A catastrophe only happens when, through sheer bad luck, all the holes in all the different slices line up just right, allowing a mistake to slip all the way through.
You see how this just completely reframes the whole problem? It's not about finding the one bad apple. It's almost always about good, smart, well-meaning people working inside a flawed system. So the question we should be asking is no longer who messed up, it's why did our defenses fail?
So what do these slices of cheese actually look like in a hospital?
Well, there are things like medication reconciliation, which is just a fancy way of saying, let's double-check every single drug a patient has taken. There's standardized protocols, clear communication, and barcoding systems. Each one is another layer of defense, another chance to catch a mistake before it can cause any harm.
All right, so we've identified the real problem. It's the system. But knowing that is one thing. The real question is, what's the path forward? How do we actually start building a true culture of safety?
The very first thing you have to realize is this. Safety isn't a finish line. It's not a box you check and then you're done. It's a continuous, never-ending process. It's something you have to work on every single day.
And that process looks like this. It's a 4-step cycle. Step 1, people have to feel safe reporting errors. Step 2, you analyze those errors to find the real root cause, the holes in the cheese. Step 3, you make real changes to the system. And step 4, and this is the one everybody forgets, you give feedback to the person who reported it so they know their voice mattered.
But as simple as that sounds, our investigation found this cycle breaks down all the time. And it's usually for one of 3 reasons. Either the reporting system is terrible, or people are still afraid of being punished, or, and this one is a real killer, they report something into a black hole and never hear anything back. Why would you bother speaking up again after that?
Understanding the problem is half the battle. But now, for our final segment, we want to give you something you can actually use. Let's move from just talking about blame to laying out a practical blueprint for change.
This quote from patient safety advocate Julie Sheldrick really gets to the heart of it.
Her family was personally devastated by a medication error, and she makes it so clear. The solution isn't to just tell good people to be more careful. The solution is to build stronger systems that stop the errors long before they can ever reach a patient.
So here it is, your blueprint. These are the questions everyone, at every level, should be asking. Is the right information easy to find? Is our communication clear and standardized? Is our workplace full of distractions? And the big one, do we actually encourage people to find and report problems without fear? This is where real safety starts.
We've seen how focusing on blame can make us blind, and how focusing on the system can make us safe. Thanks for tuning in. This has been a special report from the Human Error News Network.
And so we leave you with one final thought. The next time something goes wrong at your job, in the news, anywhere, just pause for a second and notice your first instinct. Are you asking who is to blame? Or do you have the courage to ask what in the process failed? That choice, it makes all the difference in the world.